The following podcast is brought to you exclusively by the Rad Rob Radio Network.
On this edition of Straight Up 5, we welcome PBA Hall of Famer Pete McCordic to the show. Pete has 2 PBA national titles and rolled the 4th ever 300 game on live television against Wayne Webb. We will be breaking down that game and watching it live right here in a minute. I can't wait to have Pete on the show. I've been waiting for a long time to be able to talk to him. So let's get started. Straight Up 5 starts now.
Ocho tells you exactly what's going on all the time.
Dr. Ocho, who the f*** is that?
This is PBA champion Kyle Troop.
Hey y'all, Jacob Ledrup here.
Hey guys, Chuck Ritchie here, formerly of Bowl TV.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Schaefer of track staff at Valley Bowling Center in Waverly, New York.
And you're listening to Straight Up 5.
Yo, the boys from Straight Up 5, Rad Rob, Dr Ocho.
Doesn't have the best hair in the world. I do. Sorry, bud, but you know the deal. Pick it out. Fear the fro, baby.
Welcome to Straight Up 5. A hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge look into the world of bowling. This podcast will not only cover all things bowling, but will also give you a raw look into real-life issues. So without further ado, let's introduce you to the hosts of the show. Rad Rob, Rob Francois. Rad Rob, Rob Francois. Dr. Ocho. Dr. Ocho.
Hey guys, welcome back to Straight Up 5. I am your host, Rad Rob, Rob Francois.
Love that chicken from Popeye.
This is episode 184. I have a very, very special guest. But before I bring him in, let's see if anybody's here yet. We got Nico. What's going on, Nico? You're working, but hope I have a good night. Well, please catch the replay, man. Oh, I'll give you an idea. I hit the wrong button. See, I'm already messed up. See, I finally got the intro corrected, but
I do.
We love our friend Kyle Troop, who's in the top 32 right now at the Players Championship. I'll be getting into the scores, and we also have the Imbecile of the Week after we chat with Mr. McCordic. Jamie Gillis, what's going on? I did find a hat. I literally didn't have a hat when I did the preview to the show, but I'm bald, I'm fat, I'm old. I mean, it's fine. It is what it is. That's life, right? That's what happens. Appreciate you guys being here. Before we bring in a very special guest, it is our new tradition here to pay homage to our troops and everyone serving in the military and paying tribute to our country. Let's join Gage Charles for the singing of our national anthem.
By Gage Charles. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars were so gallantly there, as though rockets were there, and the twilight's last gleaming, and the rocket's red glare were so gallantly there. Burst stripes were all there, and the rockets were there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet blaze for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Just from his look at the end, I think he realized that he had messed up. He did have so much promise at first. The guy's got a good voice. apparently didn't know the words to the song. So that might be one of my favorites that we've had so far. I think he's right up there. In fact, at the end of the year, I think we'll have we'll vote on the world's worst rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. What up, Chucky? This is the borderline. This is borderline race for butchering the national anthem that bad. It was pretty awful. It was pretty awful. That was. Oh, treason! It's borderline treason. Yes, it should be. You could tell at the end. He knew he had messed up. What's up, Chucky? You got your tape. You know how many people are jealous? Even Amanda was jealous, even though you sent one to her. She thought she was super special. She's like, "What? He sent you one too?" I said he sent them to all his good friends. By the way, I posted on this on Facebook. Chuck also gave me a 1 of 1. It's not a mouse pad. My daughter thought it was a mouse pad. It's a chamois, a 1 of 1 chamois from Bowl TV, signed by PBA 50 superstar Chuck Ritchie. We're going to be raffling that off. Check our Facebook group for that or my Facebook page. I'll have the links up for you to donate to BVL. All proceeds go to BVL. The Bowling for Veterans link that Johnny Petraglia Sr. is champions that cause. They've been around since 1941, I believe. It's one of the world's oldest charities. It's bowling's oldest charity, the BVL. So we're going to start at $20. You could donate as much as you want, but it'll be a $20 minimum. I'll give you my Venmo and my PayPal details at the end of the show if you want to try to win that sweet Bowl TV chamois. 1 of 1. There is not another one in the world, at least not one that I know of, that's signed by Chuck Ritchie. So there you go. I already have him sitting here for 7 minutes already, but we're going to wait a little bit longer. I can't wait to bring Pete in. But as always, with our first guest, or someone who is new to the show, as always, I have a highlight package for them. Let's take a look at the highlights in the career of Pete McCordic.
McCordic, 6 second place finishes, trying to break the, I would say, jinx now, has never really had anybody give him any easy matches. And if he wins this tournament, he'll have earned every bit of it. Trails by 7.
One of the truly great head-to-head matches in all of professional bowling, and especially live from Fresno here on ABC.
This match here will be ended in the 10th frame. McCordic can shut out Perez with 2 strikes and 8. He's had some bad luck before in situations like this. Let's see what happens.
Well, we saw him bowl 12 in a row at Gable House. Legs trembling, trousers, pant legs of his trousers trembling, and here he comes up with another.
Just a super shot right here in the 10th. He rips the 5 out, throws it into the 7. The head pin comes back as a messenger. Look at that determined look on his face. Now for Pete McCordic, I can never recall in all his second place finishes, Chris, where he stood on the approach as he does now, with a chance to throw 1 ball and a good count to win.
Fitting. The 2 men that led this entire Fresno Open. This man, the 5th and 6th match play rounds. His opponent, Perez, the first 4.
You cannot bowl any better than McCordic. He started strike, 4, 6, 7 split. A good shot. He had just played the lane incorrectly after an hour wait to come into the championship round, 4 pin. Then if he strikes here, he will not only win the tournament, he'll finish with 9 in a row and take a trip to the Firestone.
Pete McCordic, after 15 years on the Professional Bowlers Tour, 18,000, but more important, that first victory, and it's a credit to Shelley Cox, the general manager here in Spalding, Waffen. It's been a great one, and we hope you enjoyed the match. 258, he has defeated Perez here in California.
Not good. that makes it total history. Yep. Boy, oh boy, you lead all week long, never lower than 5th throughout this entire event. Battled all day yesterday and came down to the last 3 or 4 games, and he edged out Sal Vemini to get the top seed position. And boy, in one game, how quickly your fortunes can change on the PBA Tour. That pretty much sums it up right there on the right-hand lane. And there you see Hoyne, an excited Pete McCordic, who has now won his 2nd career PBA championship, and
22 out of 24 in that right lane.
This guy may never lose again. Thomas, who has a rather large check for you.
Pete, congratulations. On behalf of Golden Pin Lanes, I'd like to congratulate you. You both beautiful today.
Thank you.
260, 240, 230. Boy, that's the best I've ever seen. And I'd like to present you this big check for $23,000 to put in your trophy case. Also, with it, a check for $23,000. The real money goes to your lovely wife. Sorry about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure and honor to welcome the one and only Mr. Pete McCordic. Pete, thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Man, you were hot. You were hot in 80.
I haven't seen those 2 videos in a long time. It was brought back some good memories and some great times, that's for sure.
15 years on the tour before you won your first title. How did it feel to get that monkey off your back and just have that huge weight lifted?
That's exactly what it was. Just a huge, huge weight lift off my back. I mean, I'd had some second place finishes and then a lot of top 5s and just never bowled good enough to win. Either that or guys just outbowled me. So, I'd had the title of the guy that had won the most money than anybody without winning a title. I shot the 300 game on TV, and I thought, wow, this proves that I can at least strike for what I need to. And maybe that monkey would get off my back, But no, all that did is give me more money without having won a tournament, and created even more pressure. So winning that first title, believe it or not, Rob, that meant more. Just walking off the approach thinking champion. Just unbelievable feeling. Just being a champion in the PBA. Unbelievable.
25 appearances in the top 5. That's overall. I mean, that's amazing. And look, the competition was so good back then. I mean, you had the best of the best. I mean,
you had the best bowlers for to kind of overlap for a lot of years and a lot of decades. So I mean, it was from Dick Weber to Pete Weber to Walter Ray to Mark Roth and Holman and before that Barry Asher, and I could go on. I don't want to say any more because I don't want to leave anybody off. So,
right.
So I apologize for anybody that I didn't mention. That's just off the top of my head, just thinking out through all the years. I feel very fortunate, very blessed to have been able to bowl on tour when I did, just because the game's evolved so much since then. And it was just the right time for me to be out there, and very, very blessed to have been out there when I was, and happy for everything that happened.
When did you officially stop bowling on the national tour? What was your last year?
I think it was 90. Well, full time it was 94. I wasn't being as successful as I had been in the past. I had 2 little kids, and just when you're sitting in the bowler's pit wondering what job would be worse than trying to make a living bowling, it's time to reevaluate and think. So it was in 94, and it was just a bad time for the PBA too. I know they were having issues. And there was talk of cutting the prize funds and having to cut the prize funds because they were losing ABC TV, which was their main livelihood. And it just seemed like it was time to try something else. So I think 94 was my last year that I bowled competitively during that time. And it was a hard decision to do in some ways, but in other ways it was just the right time to do it.
Yeah, that was a hard time. I think ABC may have their contract. I think it was maybe 95 when it ran out. But I mean, the writing was pretty much on the wall around that time. And plus you had the changeover with reactive resin coming in, which completely changed the sport, and synthetic lanes and all that. You kind of did get out at the right time, and some of the guys that you bowl with are still out there grinding. I know Pete Weber's still out there on the PBA 50 tour grinding. I know Parker Bones still bowls. Then you have the newer generation of Jason Couch, which I can't believe he's even 50 by now. Like that's hard. You're right. But,
Rob, the first time I felt old, I guess, I was bowling the senior masters one year, and I qualified for the match play, and I'm bowling a match. I can't remember if it's my first or second match, but this guy comes up who I'm bowling and introduces himself, and he said, "Did you ever bowl on tour?" And I said, Yeah, I bowled for quite a few years. He said, "Did you ever bowl in California?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "At Gable House?" And I said, Yeah, I bowled there, definitely. He said, "I think I bowled a junior pro-am with you," and I'm going, "Oh, wow." Yeah, so that was as a senior player bowling a senior match in the Masters against somebody that I bowled a junior pro-am with. That was first time I really felt, wow, so.
Yeah, it kind of has a way of settling in and kind of humbling you when something like that happens.
Sure.
I don't remember what year it is, but I grew up in Connecticut. I live in Tennessee now, which is where my wife is from. We live outside of Nashville, but I grew up in Windsor, Connecticut. And I was about 5 minutes from Windsor Locks, where Bradley Bowl was, where you guys bowled the Greater Hartford Open. Right. I turned into the Tums Classic after that. I want to say it was probably somewhere around 85 or 86. And my mom worked at the bowling alley, and the pros were in town like they were every year. And I was just kind of walking around trying to get some autographs. And I met two people that kind of really had a great impact on me that week. One was Mats Carlson, which is a super, super nice guy and really underrated bowler. He was really, really good. The other was Pete McCordic. And obviously you wouldn't remember this, but I sat on the bleachers and I was watching you practice as one of the practice sessions. And, you noticed me there and you said hi to me and we kind of talked for a while. And during the week, I just kind of followed you around a little bit and watched you bowl. I mean, you were super down to earth. You were super nice. And I just think it's cool all these years later, like 40 years or so, that through modern technology, I get to have you on the show and talk to you. It's kind of like a full circle moment for me, but I appreciate you being nice to me when I was a kid because you didn't have to be. And I appreciate you coming on here now and coming on my show. So it's a kind of a cool little story. I just want to share.
Well, thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. I mean, when you bowl on tour, when you're bowling well, it's the greatest thing in the world. So it's easy to be nice to people. And we had people that came out and watched. The bowling centers were usually full when the tour was there and all that. So it was easy to be nice. It really was. It was a great way to try and make a living.
It was. And sometimes, just depending on how well they bowled or how poorly they bowled, I do remember a memory of Pete Weber getting mad at something at Bradley, or he was just having a bad day. And all of a sudden, a bowling ball just flew out of the paddock. And I'm like, what in the world was that? And I hear yelling and F-ff. Like, wow. What is going on? Pete was having a bad day, and he just took it out on a poor bowling ball that he threw out of the paddock. But he was hello.
Sorry.
Pete, for everything I've heard from him, is one of the nicest guys in the world, but just super ultra competitive. And obviously back then he may have had a little bit of issues with alcohol and all that, but everything I've heard from him, about him, is he's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet.
Yeah, he is definitely a different person off the lanes. I mean, we're all very competitive on the lanes. I don't think any of us like to lose, and it's just some people show it in a different way, and it may not be the best way in the world. But Pete's. I've never had the pleasure of playing golf with him, but my brother has, and everyone seems to enjoy playing golf with him and just enjoy being around Pete. But he's a little emotional when when things aren't going his way. Yeah,
just a little bit. Speaking of your brother, Jay McGillis wants to know which twin was born first.
I was. Yeah, I was. I'm the oldest. I am 20 minutes older than my twin brother, Paul.
20 minutes. Nice.
Everyone says, wow, 20 minutes. I said, yeah, he tried to come out backwards. That's why he's left-handed. So,
hey, I take exception to that. I'm left-handed.
So we are mirror image twins. So he is right-handed and I'm left-handed. And, so it's been great bowling with him throughout our life. I mean, we both started as kids thanks to our parents who took us to bowling centers, and we're the generation that we slept in the bowler settee areas while they bowl leagues and everything like that. So while my parents bowl leagues, and it was a great time to be a kid too. But so my brother and I bowled together and with each other, against each other now since we were kids.
Did he bowl on tour as well?
He did bowl on tour a little bit back in the mid 70s, and he just didn't enjoy it. He just didn't seem to enjoy it very much. He was fortunate enough to win All-American Youth Bowl scholarships back in our high school graduation was 72. So that summer, so that gave him $1,000 scholarship or he got to go to the Nationals and he won $1,000 scholarship there. And that got him into his junior year at the University of Houston at the time. So he finished school. He wanted to finish school. He got his degree, did very well in his professional life, very well. He did miss bowling some. He stayed a member and all that, but he didn't bowl on tour as much. He did finish second in Denver one year. Randy Lightfoot beat him in the championship match. So he's a very quality bowler. I mean, he's still, in fact, he throws it as good now as he ever has. So he still enjoys bowling. He bowled more on the senior tour than I have since he was able to. And so it's been good.
Did you enjoy grinding out on tour? I mean, back then, you guys, not only did you have more games of qualifying, but you had also more tour stops than they do now.
Oh, definitely.
Like being on the road?
Yeah, I did. I love bowling. I really loved bowling when I was bowling good. So, but yeah, it was 35 weeks, but it was kind of broken up. I mean, the winter tour was long. That was 16 weeks. And then you had most of May off. They threw in the Masters, USBC Masters in May. Then a 13-week summer tour, and then a month off in September, and a 4 or 5 week fall tour. So in a way, it was spread out, but it was kind of broken up enough that it was okay. I mean, you just enjoyed traveling, and like I said, as long as you were bowling good, it was good. It seemed like a great way to grow up.
Was your wife on tour with you the entire time, or did she take time off, or how much did she travel?
Well, which wife? No. No, she didn't travel too much with me. No. But,
okay, how much did Paula travel with you?
Paula. Well, I didn't meet Paula till pretty much the last part of my tour. I met her at the U.S. Open in Canandaigua in '92. So she didn't travel too much with me then. However, after we got married in 95, in 2000, that's, the tour was kind of struggling a little bit financially and all that. And the people there weren't as many entries and all that. And even though I'd won two titles, I only got to bowl in the Tournament of Champions one time, so because of my sons were then old enough to appreciate being in the Tournament of Champions, and for everything my wife had done for me, Paula, I wanted to bowl in the Tournament of Champions again. So in 2000, I went back out on tour. All I had to do was get my touring status back, and I could qualify for the Tournament of Champions. So I did do that, and I got to bowl the Tournament of Champions. I think that was in 2000. I didn't do very well there, but it was still a great experience.
Jack Batchelder has a comment, which is, I just want to put it up here. He said, watching Pete throw the 300 on my black and white 13-inch TV in my early teens got me hooked in bowling. Grew up in an area that 10-pin bowling did not exist, but that moment hooked me. Thanks, Pete.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm sorry you only had a black and white TV because it was in color. So, don't blame me for that part of it. But someone else has told me that. And whenever people remind me that they saw me bowl the 300 game on TV, I just kind of, if they make a comment, I just kind of remind them that they're showing their age by remembering that they saw me on TV shoot a 300 game. They are kind of showing their age now.
It's true. I'm almost 50, so I definitely watched it. I was 1987. I was 11 years old, so that's when I saw it.
It's more, even for me, it's more than half a lifetime ago. So
that's true. And what I loved most about it was actually Chris Schenkel's reaction to it, because he had missed the previous 300 that was thrown on TV. I think it was like 15 years between 300s or something like that, and he wasn't there for it.
Jim Stefanich's 300, I believe, was in 74. So it was, 13 years since his 300. His was the third. Jack Little was also from Houston, was the first, and Johnny Gunther was the second. Stefanich was the third. But I knew Jack very well. In fact, he helped me bowl quite a bit in my teen years and was a big supporter of me. And I could always go to Jack. Jack was one of those guys that, to get 5 minutes of good information, you might have to listen to 30 minutes of talk, but it was all entertaining anyway, so it was okay. Right. But Jack was a great guy, and he was part of a good inspiration for me too.
I wish the tour still did that, because we've had quite a few 300s since then, and it's obviously a different game now with lanes and equipment, and I wouldn't say it's as a special thing. It was a really big deal back in the day. Obviously, you were the fours ever. So that had to be a one of your finest moments on tour.
Oh, sure, definitely. In fact, I think that somebody has said to me that they said, well, if McCordic can shoot 300 on TV, it can't be that hard, and now there's like 40 of them. So it's
well, that's true.
So
that was a big deal. It was very,
you did have to take some ribbing when you were on tour. So
oh, sure, absolutely. But I love Chris Schenkel's reaction to that. He was so overjoyed that he was there live. He loved the sport so much, and he covered all kinds of sports. He was obviously a Hall of Fame broadcaster in almost any sport, but he loved the sport of bowling, and he did it for so many years with Bo Burton. But just hearing how happy he was for you and for him to be there to call the game is cool. And we're going to watch the game here in a second. But I also got to meet Bo and Chris at Bradley Bowl. Chris was sitting there at the snack bar having a cigarette back when you could smoke in the bowling alleys. He's drinking a coffee and having a cigarette before the broadcast, and just a really, really nice guy. And such a smooth voice too.
Definitely. And he was genuinely nice. It wasn't just an act or anything, Before I might have made a few shows or something like that, but I remember sitting in the cafe in Seattle or someplace, and he was getting ready to do the show, and I know he probably knew who I was, but we hadn't really talked that much. But he just said, "Hey, Pete, do you mind if I join you?" And he sat down and we talked for 30 minutes on that. So, and yes, it did mean a lot to him, and it's kind of a proud moment for me that I was the first one that he got to see, and you could tell it meant a lot to him to call that. So it's my pleasure, So,
Jamie Gillis wants to know, how long did it take to get the bonus money from? Was it True Value still sponsored it? I think, but
True Value sponsored it. They gave me the big fake $100,000 check and all that. I wasn't a very wealthy man at that time, I had bills and all that, and bowling on tour was not always the most secure way to make a living. And all of a sudden you get $100,000, Well, True Value's tournament was like the 12th tournament in that winter tour swing or something. So they decided to give me the real check at the True Value Open. I believe it might have been in April. So it was at least 2 or 3 months afterwards. In fact, I told Goose, I said, Harry Golden, our tournament director, I said, Goose, you already gave me one fake check. why don't you just give me another fake check there and give me the real check before time, So it didn't work. But yeah, it took 3 or 4 months to get the real check.
And how much did Uncle Sam take out of that check?
Well, he got his share. Yeah, he got his share. So
I'm sure.
I'm not sure exactly what it was, but he got his share.
So. He always does. He always does.
Yeah.
Trip to 6 says Stadium Bowl next to the old Astro World Stadium was a place I'll never forget.
Me either. I liked Stadium Bowl. It was 72 lane center.
Yep.
Building was just maybe 2 miles from Colt Stadium, which later was where the Houston Dome Stadium was, so Astrodome. But yeah, 72 lanes back then. Unfortunately, I closed about 5 smaller independent centers in the city, but that was a place of action. They hosted the PBA Tour many years in the 70s and the summer tour. In fact, one year after I think it was after. Going into that, I bowled decent. It was my hometown, so it was important. Like I said, the stadiums or the bowl centers used to be packed for our tournaments. So I had some kind of a following there, being from there and being kind of a young kid at the time. And I bowled really well, and I think I was like in 9th place after the first day of the tournament. Then we come out the second day, and I was B squad the night before, so I'm bowling B squad or early the next morning in our final 6 games. I just know I need a decent block to make the top 24. And I remember going like 250 the first 2 games, and I'm thinking, yeah, well, this should do it. Now I'm looking around. Everyone else is shooting 230s and 240s and 250s. So I ended up making the cut pretty easily. What had happened is the lane man at that time got into a spat with somebody, and he quit. He didn't do the lanes that day, so they had someone else do the lanes, and the lanes were much easier. So then I actually moved to first after the second day, but I fell back the next day. I finished third in the tournament, which still wasn't bad for me, and I believe that was in 78 at the time, 77 or 78. But anyway, sorry. Hope I'm not taking too much time of yours for these things.
No, not at all. I love the history of the sport. I always love hearing stories. I'm such a fan. I grew up in the bowling alley as a kid, like you did. I started bowling when I was 6 years old or so. So
me too. Yeah.
It's been a long time, and having the pleasure to speak with somebody like you and a lot of the other greats I've had on the show. Guys that I watched on TV as a kid, it's a cool thing, and I'm blessed to have that opportunity. And you're one of the guys I've always wanted to get. I just took me a while to get it. We've been doing this for 4 years. Used to have Johnny Petraglia Jr. on the show, but unfortunately, we had to part ways due to his personal issues. But we've had Danny Wiseman on the show. We had Leto. We had Mark Baker. Ryan Schaefer, a lot of the guys that you had bowled with back in the day, and guys from the future as well, like Kyle Troop and Belmo and Tim Mack's been on the show, and I'm like a kid in a candy store, man. Like, this is just like a bucket list thing, a dream come true to speak with guys like you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure being here.
Well, thank you. We have a very special treat because people have been asking for it. We're going to actually watch your 300 game.
Okay.
Let me get that queued up here. I may go silent for a second. Let's see. There it is.
Here's a handshake now, which means that match number 1 will be getting underway.
Webb. Webb's threw such a great ball, too. Another, I don't want to say underrated bowler, but I mean, he was a very, very good bowler as well.
Oh, he was pretty awesome. Yeah, he was he was good. Sure. Yeah, very good. So this is there's a story about getting started in this, so I should have told that too. But
no, that's fine. I can pause it. So
okay. Before we started, back then you got like 30 minutes of practice on the lane before the TV show started. Maybe even a little bit more than that. And 5 minutes before airtime, I felt like I had a decent reaction on the right lane, and I didn't like my reaction on the left lane at all. So At Gable House, the locker room was upstairs, up some stairs, kind of a balcony overlooking the center part of the bowling center. So I ran upstairs and grabbed the ball that I just threw there. Threw it one time on the left lane, and it struck in practice, and threw it once on the right lane, and it didn't strike. And Harry Golden, our tournament director, said, "Okay, guys, that's it. Get ready to start." So I really didn't know what to do.
Oh, no.
So I had one ball that reacted pretty good on the right lane, and that ball didn't react on the left lane at all. And I had to start on the left lane. And I'd thrown it one time on the left lane, and it struck. So I said, well, what the heck? I'm going to use this ball in this lane and use the other ball in the other lane. So that's how I got started. If I'm sweating there, it's because I had just run up the stairs and ran back down and thrown 2 practice shots. So plus just I always got nervous on TV anyway. So
yeah,
that was probably part of it too. But anyway, so that's a little backstory on just getting started on this first match.
Do you remember what balls you were throwing?
Yeah, they were both black U-dots.
Black U-dots, man.
Yes, yeah. At the time, it's probably one of the best balls ever made at that time. So
absolutely.
Yeah, the one on the right lane had a little bit more polish on it, a bigger weight hole, which we were allowed to use back then.
Yep.
The one I used on the left lane was probably similar, but it has a smaller weight hole and had a little bit more surface on it.
Yeah, I love that ball. I had a wine U-dot as well, which I think everybody had. I had a silver white dot, which was plastic, if I remember right. And I still use it for my strike shot, which, I mean, back then we didn't switch balls like, from urethane to plastic or resin to plastic because there wasn't anything, but we threw the same ball at the spares as we did as our strike shots. So.
Pretty much so, yeah.
I don't know why that changed. I don't know why that's the thing. I still don't throw plastic at spared. I learned how to, even with my resin ball, I learned how to throw, being a lefty, throw at 7 pins with my strike ball. I don't get that whole thing. Anyways.
Anyway, all right. That was the backstory on that. So.
All
right. Even Burton didn't realize I was throwing 2 balls until the second game. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's funny. And he's very observant, too. So.
Yeah, he is. Usually,
I didn't know that. Unusual style. I think Ryan Schaefer copied that approach.
Yeah, that if I remember right, he did that twice on that lane, third frame, first and third frame. So I kind of got up to an early start, or early lead.
Kind of like those green pants too.
Yeah, he was colorful. Maybe not as colorful as Guppy, but he was colorful.
No, nobody's as colorful as Guppy.
Except for Kyle. So.
Oh, well, yeah, true. Good point. He had a lot of revs on the ball, too. I mean, Wayne.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Wayne
he was up there with Roth and the guys at the time that had the higher rev rate, definitely.
And you were more of straight up 5 kind of guy, right? So.
Well, I always consider myself a tweener. I mean, it's obvious I couldn't hook it like that, but man, some of those guys on tour could throw it dead straight. I mean, when the lanes were hooking, I couldn't throw it straight. So, Knippel and Schlegel and so there's quite a few guys that could really throw it straight and strike. I mean, that was something that they had that worked for them. Definitely an advantage at certain tournaments for sure. Yeah.
Right. He had gray hair back then too.
Yeah, those days are gone. So.
All right, me too.
Again, this is using the ball I thought I had a better reaction with on the right lane for this second shot. And I'm still not real confident on the left lane, but he's just showing a replay. Man, I'd like to be able to do that again. Look at that knee bend. Look at that knee bend and follow through. That guy was good.
That guy was good. I love your follow through. I love how you just – I mean, that's a lost art. You don't even see a lot of people with that kind of follow through anymore.
Yeah. Back to the dollar ball on that lane.
Actually, you can tell by looking at it. Yeah, you're right. And I never noticed that.
So
flush.
Yeah, just feeling pretty confident. Just like I said, I was always nervous on TV anyway. So actually getting started with the turkey was just almost relaxing. So especially when when Webb didn't strike the first shot. And I think he leads the 2-pin again on this frame. But, believe it or not, I really haven't watched this more than 10 or 15 times in my life. So,
What were you thinking when he left that?
20 up.
Just keeping the math in your head.
Yeah. I did watch my opponent's bowl. I mean, I don't think I ever, people say, well, they didn't want to know and all that. Well, how do you not know? I mean, unless you just don't watch it all. Maybe I could just. I always was, like I said, my parents had us in bowling centers when we were 7, 8 years old, and we learned to keep score. And adding up scores was pretty easy. So
right, yeah, that's how I learned.
You know what's going on, even if you're not watching every shot, supposedly. So, but he gets it going now from here on out. He's got some stuff to catch up.
I mean, he's just so calm and collected, man. Like I mean, obviously he's one of the best of all time. He had multiple,
Yes.
16 titles a year. I don't know what he ended up with total, but I mean, that's one of the greats.
He was one of the best ever. So
I miss those Lamode shirts, man. I had a bunch of those. Those are such cool shirts.
So did I. That was one of the first times anybody had asked me to be on any kind of a staff was Lamode. So
that's cool. That's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, those are those everybody had those shirts back in the day. Like they were just so cool.
Yep. Another good shot. Wow.
You were locked in.
Yeah.
Was it like that all week? I mean, obviously you qualified 5th, but I mean, obviously you had a really good week to make TV, but how much transition was there during the week?
Rob, I'd like to be able to tell you, but
I remember, I know you bowled so much.
So, I mean, I qualified 5th, so I think I bowled a pretty good last couple of games in the match play to get to 5th. So it's not like I was up there and fell back. I feel very fortunate to get up there from what I remember. So that one might be.
Oh, that was heavy.
That was the one I was going to say. I think I tripped a 4. I think the ball just picked up low early. Looking at that shot, it got out a little bit farther and just picked up sooner. So I thought I made a good shot. It just that told me I better move.
Right. I mean,
now I'm getting a little nervous there. I mean,
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And he's not going to miss. It's very rare for him to miss. So.
Yeah, he's not giving up. That's for sure.
Did you ever talk to him after the fact about just kind of reminisce about that at all after it happened?
Well, I don't remember talking to him very much right afterward. I mean, he has a bowling center in Columbus, and he hosted some PBA 50 and 60 events, and we've talked about it again. But I think there's been other people that have bowled their 300 games against Wayne Webb, and I want to say it was 2 or 3 others, but I could be wrong on that. So he always just wondered why everybody picked on him. So
that's fair. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a curse.
Yeah, he's there too. So, this shot was pretty good. This is back when they I think they kind of wanted to just not let guys stand left and throw right. They actually had some what they called out of bounds outside of 5. So you had to keep it left of 4 or 5, something like that. And there was a little room, left of the 6, 7, 8 area. So it was definitely conducive to my game, where I could go up the boards and just I wasn't going to miss right that far to go into to hit the OB. But it's a lot of the players that opened up the lane or tried to open the lane that kept them from just being able to spray it everywhere.
How old were you at this point?
87, so I was born in 53, 34.
And you already been on the tour for, 14 years at that point.
I first went on tour when I was 19 in 73. Only bowled for about a year and a half, and I kind of knew I wasn't ready. I quit the tour for about another year and a half, and I went back out in 77. in the fall of 77, I believe, maybe 76, and stayed out pretty much all the time after that. So
at this point, you're up 40, and he's still striking. So I mean, the pressure has to be on, for sure. Even though he's still nipping away.
Oh, definitely. I mean, at this pace, he's on a 270 pace if he strikes out, and that's not a big lead that I have if he's going to shoot 270. So
one bad shot, and you
exactly
or something, and he's right back in it.
Yeah. So and I knowing Wayne, who never lacked for confidence anyway.
Right.
He's probably thinking, "Hey, I got this now. I'm ready." So
he's warmed up by now. I mean, obviously he's got 4 in a row at this point. So
yeah. So
now let me pause it for a second. At this point, we're in 8th frame. Oh, there we go. Pause it.
He heard you.
He
How'd
did.
you do that?
Pause and it wouldn't pause. All right. Anyway, we'll talk over it. At this point, are you thinking 300? I mean, is that even in your mind, or you just want to win the match?
Just really right now, I just want to win the match. I'm just my TV record is just so bad.
Okay. My internet went out. I apologize for that, y'all. I need to get Pete back here. That sucked. That's why I couldn't pause the video. I don't know what happened, but hopefully he can get back in here in a second. Gotta love technology. That's bad.
Here's a hand check now, which means
I gotta go back to the 8th frame where we are here. Sorry, Pete. Hopefully he gets back here in a second. Hopefully you guys are there. He goes. That's why I couldn't pause the video. My internet went out. That was weird. I apologize for that.
I thought it was me. I was
It's the first time that's ever happened to me. My stream just stopped. It just shut down. So as we were saying, you were just trying to win the match at that point. You were just worrying about him because he's still striking. So
sure.
At this point in the 8th frame, 300 wasn't even running through your mind.
Watch my 8th shot.
He trails by 30. Don't ever occasion to stop an errant shot.
5 in a row for Wayne Webb.
So right now I'm not really thinking about the 300 game. I'm pretty much aware I got the front 7, but
right.
I haven't been done in 13 years. There's a lot of times you have the front 7 and don't shoot 300. So no, I'm not really thinking about it just yet. Now, on that shot, I remember getting that one in just a bit, and it kind of pushed a little bit and it struck. And after that shot, I remember thinking, wow, I do have a good enough reaction where I could possibly shoot 300. It was just a fleeting thought. I remember having that after that shot in the 8th frame.
I'll tell you what, Pete McCordic's got a great shot at this as his wife looks on because he's pressed. He still needs strikes to win the match. It's not a cakewalk. Wayne Webb still has a possible 270 game.
God, and you think, man, I'm shooting 270 and I'm going to lose? Like, that's unheard of.
That was a good shot there. Wow.
That was a really good shot. You flushed.
I want to throw it like that again, Rob. That's
right. I could never throw it like that. So there's your ex-wife.
Yep.
And you can hear Chris. He's getting excited now. He's like, "Oh,
yeah.
And Wayne's like, "Come on, man."
Uh-oh. Now that's when I really knew the only thing left was the 300 because even if I open the 10th frame, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, he was out of wood at that point.
Yeah, and that wasn't a bad shot he threw. It went a little high, but rolled a 4, left a 9. So
he's still chewing that gum, still locked in.
Yeah. So now he's just trying to get out of the way. I'm going to do something really stupid. But I have a chance to do something. He just wants to get out of the way. He's a good guy like that. You don't want to stop me from doing that. I needed help there, Rob. I'm saying prayers, man.
I'm just saying, what are you thinking at this point, man?
Yeah, no, I just That was prayer. That was me asking for help there. So,
because obviously you're moving on to the next round, but you really at this point you really wanted that 300.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely.
What is going through that young man's mind?
Bo was wondering what was going through your mind.
Yeah, he did. He did say that. Yeah. So, and Chris is getting more excited about it. I think Chris is. I'm trying to calm the nerves there. I know I'm shaking. I'm just trying to tighten up muscles, relax muscles, tighten up, relax muscles, just to try and get.
You're breathing pretty heavy there.
It's yeah. I mean, yeah. So, but it's. And Ron, I'm just going to tell you that all the years of practice, that I was a big practicer. I threw. It was nothing to practice 2, 3, 4 hours if I felt like I needed it. Sweat streaming down your face, you're dead tired. But I think that's when, if you can strike after that, then that kind of prepares you to strike when you're, a little nervous, a little tight. You just, you've been there before, just not in that same circumstance, but you've been dead tired. You've had pressure before, and like I said, I did say prayers about it, but it was time to come through here. So, yep. And my keys in situations like this is get the push away step right and hit your target. So that's all I'm trying to do. Just get set, get the push away step right, hit my target. And I'm telling you, I threw that one so good. It relaxed me. I remember thinking it relaxed me. So that was good.
They always say the first one in the 10th is the hardest.
No, I think the last one was.
Okay, well, that's fair.
in this instance, I think it was the last one.
That's fair. I mean, you were locked in. I mean, you had the look. Like it just came to execution.
Exactly, and I do think whenever I was bowling good, just the chance for me to repeat shots was one of my strong points. That shot, even Bo said, I kind of lost it a little bit. Just it wasn't as pure release as some of the other ones. I lost a little bit, but it worked. So yeah, now I know it.
Well, we gave away $100,000 in the U.S. Open just 4 weeks ago to another Texan, Del Ballard Jr., Pete McCordic, bowling immortality.
Is that a sight, Bo?
Within his grasp, one more strike. 1974, Jim Stefanich was the last time.
All right, here it is. Right lane.
Can you hear Paul in the back? She watches this more than I do. So, actually, Rob, that ball was in a little bit. I off my hand, I thought it was through me a little bit. So, that's why I had my hands on my head, and then when it struck, I did that just because that was good. So, prayers answered. So.
There he is, Pete McCordic.
Don Jowdy was there. A couple other things I remember about that game. Back then, Larry Lichtenstein would be sitting, who's player service guy. He was sitting in the settee area. He always sat in the settee area for that. Starting around the sixth frame, he'd just be there. He'd say, "Pete, you can do this. Pete, you can do this." And he must have said it 50 times in the last 3 or 4 frames. So he was there just kind of trying to calm me down and encourage me and try and give me some positive. So a lot of great things there. Thanks for the memories. That was
absolutely. It was a pleasure for me to just sit there and just kind of pick your brain. It was as it was going on and get insight, as you're watching it. And Larry has a habit of doing that. Larry was there for Johnny Petraglia's 300 on TV, and he actually told Johnny, "Here, use this ball." He actually gave him the Teal Rhino Pro to use. That got him that win. So Larry's a great guy. He's been on the show as well. I grew up with him and his son Mikey in Connecticut. So man, you want to talk about Mike? Mike Lichtenstein had all the talent to go on tour, just didn't want it and didn't have to. He just he cleaned up in the regionals. He was happy doing that. But man, what a good bowler he is.
And also, he did well in all the high roller tournaments. All the big tournaments that didn't allow the PBA players.
He's still doing it now, and he's still cleaning up at 50-something years old. So he's a king. He's a king in New England for sure. But that was fun to watch. What happened in the next match? Where'd your look go?
It's obviously. In fact, at the end of that game, they're interviewing me, and Goose is there or Chris is there. I don't know. And then so I knew that was $100,000. Fifth place was $5,500. First place was like $18,000 or $7,000. I don't remember exactly. So I'm thinking, I just won $105,000. I have to win 3 more games for $13,000. Let's go to the bar. Let's celebrate. So but I had never won a tournament that was just a fleeting thought.
Right.
But yeah, there was. I hate to say it, but there was probably some letdown. I think I left a 4-pin in the first or second frame, and then I chopped the 6-10 like the 6th or 8th frame, something like that. And when I chopped it, then Matt's beat me, and and then he went on to win the tournament. I kind of felt bad for Matt's because he's the first international player to win, I think, on TV or something, at least from Europe. And he was just his best moment ever in his career, and everybody's wanting to talk to me, and nobody wanted to talk to him. So I kind of felt bad for him, but I got over it kind of quick. So,
I'm sure you did. So what was it like afterwards? Like, did you? What would you do after the tournament?
Actually, it's not much. My wife at that time, Susan, had flown in, and she'd brought her 2 sons with us. So, and Michael was just a baby, and my oldest son, Patrick, was like 2. So she'd had a long night. So. I think we went. We didn't go any place special for dinner, and she brought one of the guys that works the desk at one of the bowling centers I practiced at. We brought him out to help watch the kids, the two boys, while all this was going on. So I just remember we probably went to eat somewhere, but I think we were staying at a sweet place or something. So we had some room, and Robert Beck, the guy that was kind of with us to help watch kids, he's calling everybody saying, "Hey, did you see me on TV?" and all that. And I'm just, Susan was dead tired, so she went to bed. The boys were quiet. They were in bed, and it's 6:00, and I just turned on the TV. I mean, it was, the shows were over pretty early California time.
Yeah.
It's early afternoon, so it was probably like 6 or 7 o'clock, and everyone else in my family was just dead tired, and didn't care.
So was it hard to come down from all that, or were you just?
It was. No, I think I bowled. The next week was in Grand Prairie, and I want to say I bowled decent. Nothing great or anything, but I did bowl. I bowled decent there. So no, everybody. I remember everybody knew me after that. Not everybody, but bowlers did. And it was one of those things. My brother was bowling a PBA regional event in Albuquerque, and he always says that. His wife told him that whenever I'm bowling on TV, don't watch, because he gets distracted and doesn't bowl good and all that. So,
right.
So they're showing the 300 game live, and he's bowling, and he's like in the second or third game of the regional, and someone says, "Hey, Pete's got the front 5. Hey, Pete's got 7." Well, when they said 8 or 9. My brother said, "Okay, I'm watching the rest of it." So, and then he said he didn't bowl very well after that. But yeah, it was different, and then it's not like I was a bad bowler on tour. I just never done anything really worthwhile or noteworthy, and it was a little bit different. So, did I come down? No, I don't think so. I was elated. I was, I knew that I was the 4th and the first one to do it in 13 years, and it was a real. confidence booster for me. And I did show that I could strike under considerable pressure. So there wasn't a letdown. In fact, I think I made 4 or 5 more shows that year. Maybe I don't know exactly. And I think I averaged 230 something for all my shows, but I never wanted. I don't think I ever bowled for another title. So that year, guys did bowl pretty good against me a lot of times. So that's just the way it happened. So no, I don't think there was ever a letdown. I would have liked to have done better. Sure.
Was it kind of surreal though? When you did that, you won your 2 titles. Growing up as a bowling alley rat, like, did you ever sit back and be like, wow, man, like this, I accomplished, my dream as a kid watching people bowl on TV. I mean, did it really when did it really hit you?
Well, one time it hit me kind of like that because my brother and I were both kind of stars of the future in the Houston bowling area. So, and I remember turning 28 or so. So this would have been in the early 80s. And I really hadn't done much. I mean, I'd already quit the tour once. I was coming back. I was having some success. And then I remember thinking when I was 28, hey, you're supposed to be star of the future. Well, the future should be coming up right now. So, so in a way, I didn't feel like I had accomplished it. But after the 300 game and after winning, I feel, like I say, I feel very blessed just to have been successful and to be able to do that for 18 years, even though not all 18 years were successful.
Right.
I got no complaints. I mean,
there's a lot of guys out there that were just consistent money makers that you may not have always seen on TV or heard of. Like Butch Soper was a consistent casher and made a pretty good, a life on tour and became the statistician for ABC for a number of years too. But there's a lot of guys that were great that just never really kind of broke through. But
Rob, you just don't realize how great those players are until you go out and bowl with them. I mean, it's and the fields are 128 or 144 or whatever, and out of those 100 plus people, at least 70 of them probably had a chance to win that week, 70 or 80 of them, and you're talking about a lot of Hall of Famers bowl in every tournament. So it's really tough to win one of those. So yeah, it's I think it was the best time to be on tour, maybe a little bit before, but guys before me might have had some advantage too, but by far I loved being on tour then, and for me it was the best time. So
what were some of your favorite places to go to bowl at?
Oh, well, normally you pick places that you always bowl good at.
Right.
Windsor Locks was a good tournament for me, even though I never won there. I lost to Pete Weber for his first title there. Yep. But I had a couple other top 5 finishes there. Peoria, Illinois was another place that I always seemed to bowl, or not always, but I had some good tournaments in Peoria. So I like that. The summer tours were always fun. There wasn't as much money out there, but it seemed like the guys were a little bit looser. We did play a lot of golf in this. In fact, some summers it seemed like the bowling tournaments actually got in the way of the golf games. So a lot of guys played golf. So the Tucson National. We when we bowled in Tucson, we could stay at Tucson National because we usually bowl there July 4th weekend. That's not their best weekend. It's 148 degrees there or something. But, we could stay there really cheap, and they let us play Tucson National for cart fees. So that was always a good place to go to. But there was so many great proprietors. Again, I don't want to start because I don't want to leave out really great proprietors that I didn't mention. But, the proprietors that had us, they had to put up a lot of money to have the tournaments. Yeah. And it's a thanks to them that we had the success that we did, along with ABC TV supporting that for years. But how Eddie Elias kept that going as long as he did is amazing too. So there are a lot of good things that happened, and some things probably could have been better. I could have been better in certain ways, but it was just a great time to be a bowler on tour.
How long was Pete director of the Southwest region? Jamie wants to know.
26 years, 25 or 26 years. So
quite a long time.
Yeah, I felt very fortunate. I mean, I bowled regionals, a lot back in the day too. But when I heard Cecil was retiring, I definitely threw my hat in the ring. I said that's a job I would love to have, and somehow I ended up getting the position, and I got to still watch the greatest bowlers in the world. A lot of them came from the Southwest region.
Yep.
I felt like I was that was just my calling, my next step. So so I did that for 25 years. I loved it. To me, it was the perfect position for me.
And for that, you were elected into the Hall of Fame in 2023. Was Tom Clark the one that gave you the call?
Yes, he did. Like I said, I love my position, but you kind of know when it's time to go on, just to retire. So before I got, let me preface this. As an employee of the PBA, once the Microsoft guys took over the PBA, they didn't allow any employees to bowl any PBA tournaments. Wow. So once that happened, that meant as a regional director, I was not allowed to bowl any PBA tournaments. So, that's the way it was. And I kid and tell people that it probably saved me a lot of money by not being able to bowl senior events and stuff. But to follow up on that, I was actually bowling one of Ron Moore's tournaments in Vegas, a senior event. And I just had a bad day, and I think I got a super senior check or something. And Paula told me that Tom Clark called, and I was supposed to call him back. And I'm going, I'm fine, So I called him back, and I had no idea. And when he told me I was going to be in the PBA Hall of Fame, I still get goosebumps just thinking about it. I mean, Paul and I just started almost crying just in each other's arms. That was just something I never expected. I knew I didn't have the credentials as a bowler because you have to have 10 titles and all that. And Gary Mage, he was the regional director for the West and South and Northwest region for 40 years total. And before they put him in the Hall of Fame, I said, I know I'm not doing it for 40 years. So I just, I just had no idea that was going to happen. And that was probably one of the biggest thrills of my life. Yeah.
Tom is a great guy. We've had him on the show. He's done a lot for the sport. Obviously, you know how much he loves the game. And he respects the history of the game. He is a true bowling historian. And to put guys like you in, to put Steve Jaros in, they have the veterans category as well, and the meritorious, which you were in. You could tell how much he's thrilled to do that. Putting Gup in this year, this weekend, actually. And Gup is such a great guy too. It's just, I like seeing the surprise reactions, when they record people's reactions when he tells them they're going in. But it is a big deal to be recognized by your peers, whether it's for your bowling career or what you do to give back to the sport and to work like you did. No matter how you get in, it's still a big deal. And just what you explain by you still getting goosebumps about it. It's really cool to see that you're respected enough to be put in with the best of the best.
Oh, it's just an unbelievable thing, and I just can't put into words how much that means to me.
So what are you doing now? Are you still active in the sport? Are you bowling at all?
I'm still bowling. Yes. Like I said, I resigned my position with the PBA so I could bowl some summer events or some senior events. And I did for a year and a half. And then I started getting some injuries. First it was hip injury, and then it was a knee injury and all that. So every time I thought I was ready to go back out and bowl, the knee would hurt or the hip would hurt. And it finally, I didn't get to bowl much last year at all. But I finally figured out a way, the doctor I go to, we came up with a brace that helps. I can bowl pain-free now. Unfortunately, after a year and a half of developing bad habits, favoring the knee and the hip, I just haven't been as competitive as I want to be. But I haven't given up yet. I'm still planning on bowling some tournaments, and hopefully I can rekindle some kind of that form that I saw tonight. That looked pretty good. I want to do that again, but it's
It's like riding a bike, man. Once you get back,
I can promise you it's not.
I mean, how do you compensate for not being able to get that deep at the line? I mean, what do you focus more on? Just trying to get the ball out there.
Well, again, that's just because I don't think I'm throwing it as good as I used to. To me, I always had the knee bend when everything else was right. If the push away was right, and the leverage was right, and the timing was right, the knee bend just happened. I was never one of the players that could focus on trying to get more knee bend or anything like that. That was just kind of out of what I could do. It just everything. When everything's right, I have the knee bend, and obviously, with hip and knee things, it wasn't as good. But we'll see. I mean, I think I can. Maybe I'm fooling myself, but I think I can get back to that for a little bit. The good shots are still good. I still throw a lot of good shots. It's just, and Jamie Brooks told my brother one time, he says, yeah, once you get older, he says, the good shots are there, but the bad shots are like, where the heck did that come from? It's just, they're bad shots. So I need to get rid of some of those bad shots and try and be competitive again.
So my buddy Charlie Tapp is here. He says, stay home, you rotten skunk.
Sooner or later, Charlie, that'll happen. Sooner or later.
I love it. So I'm curious, what does somebody now at your, I don't want to say advanced age, but being a senior bowler who didn't really go through the whole resin revolution, what's in your arsenal now? What are you throwing? What do you like to throw?
Well, I've been very fortunate. I've been on Storm staff ever since I retired from the PBA.
Okay.
And they've been very good to me. So I throw the Storm equipment, probably the best equipment on the market. So that's that. They've stood by me, and I thank them for it. So yeah, Storm.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry.
So yeah, just. Should we get all that in, or?
You cut out for a second, but you said you're throwing Storm. What was it hard getting used to resin?
No, actually, when the resin came out, well, first of all, when the urethanes came out, that was in the early '80s.
True, that's a big deal. Yep.
And now it's different bowlers bowl good with the urethane than we did back then. I mean, everybody bowled good with urethane back then, but
right.
Then when resin came out, I thought it would add years to my career. I really did. It gave me the chance to compete with some of the guys that had the higher rev rates. It allowed me to have that. So that probably added a couple of years to it. There's just so many guys now have the high rev rate and the speed and the high rev rate. The game's evolved, and it's just it's different. It's just different. And now there's a lot of 50-year-olds that have that high rev rate and everything. So Tom Hess, and stuff, and guys like that. So that's even taken over the senior tour. So it's just the way of the future. The bowling's always evolved, and I'm sure it'll evolve again sometime. But it's hard for me to enjoy bowling as much as I would like to when I don't feel competitive.
That makes sense. Yeah, obviously. I mean, doing it for so long. I mean, I'm sure you're still naturally a competitive person, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. So even though I didn't win that much, I was always competitive. I kind of hit it better, but yeah, definitely. It's not something I can. I mean, fortunately, I bowl with my sons in leagues. We bowled with the USBC with my sons and my brother. So there's still good parts of bowling. Like I said, I haven't given up, but it's hard to enjoy it if I'm not competitive.
I'm sure even bowling with your brother and with your kids, I mean, you're still competitive against them, right? You want to win?
I can usually beat my kids. My brother?
You still have the competitive edge. Like you don't want them to win, right? Like when you go out.
Oh, no, they're not. I'm not giving them anything. No.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, no.
My dad was the same way. I was always a better bowler than him, but there was just some kind of psychological advantage that he had over me. I could never beat him. He knew he needed 3 in the 10th to beat me, and he would do it, and he just shut me down. It's just something about it. So I don't know. It's just
both my sons at times. Patrick, I think the highest he averaged was in the 220s. He was a competitive bowler. He could cash in a few regionals and everything. And my other son, he averaged 200 on house shots too. But now they're both married and they have kids and jobs and real lives, and it's hard for them to bowl more than 3 games a week. So, I think Patrick always wanted to average higher than me, and I think he might have one year. If he's watching, he'll remind me of when that was. So,
I haven't had a chance to ask some of the older bowlers from the previous generations how they feel about house shots, but back in the day, it really wasn't a thing. I mean, if you averaged 220 back in the day, you were a fantastic bowler, and now you see there are no honor scores anymore. They for one, they don't get recognized typically, but for two, you go on Facebook and you see guys throwing 300 and 800s just about every single week. Does that kind of tick you off compared to the old days?
I don't. It's not that it ticks me off. It's I kind of hate to see it. I mean, I don't know who to blame for it, or is it the proprietors of the USBC? But it used to be if you were bowling league and you had 7 in a row, the whole center stopped and watched you bowl every frame after that. So,
that's right. Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
It's obviously it doesn't favor me either. With the house shots, but again, the game evolves, and what happens? I hate to see it. I mean, it's like golf. How much farther can they hit the golf ball?
It's a good point. Yeah.
So and it's not just the equipment. The equipment is obviously a lot better than it was back then.
Yeah.
But the other part of that is there's so much more knowledge. I mean, there is so much more knowledge on fundamentals and basics and timing and equipment and everything than we had back in the day. I mean, I used to think I was pretty good on fundamentals for bowling. I would almost be embarrassed if somebody asked me for lessons now, just because I feel like I'm so far behind the curve on everything that I should have kept up with that I didn't.
I was going to say back then, I mean, you probably didn't have that many varying oil patterns, and was topography even a thing back then? Did you guys charts or any of that?
I mean, we knew when heads were burned or when the wood was really worn and stuff like that. It had a track in it,
right?
But you knew how to play those in.
Sure.
But topography, no, we didn't know anything about that. That was all with John Davis at Kegel. I think is the one that brought all that up. I may be wrong on that. I don't know, but. We didn't know that. And the lane conditions, originally oil was just used to protect the wood. It wasn't to create lane conditions. It was just to protect the wood. So
no kidding. I didn't know that.
Yeah. That would keep the friction off from burning up the heads even sooner.
Sure,
so, and now the oil is not used to protect the lanes. I mean, at one time, who's the guy that was from California that was, the guru of knowledge of bowling, but he came out with a oilless lane where you didn't have to oil it. Well, it hooked too much for people, so they didn't want to do it. But, if they'd have come up with something like that, things might be different. They may come up with that in the future, so who knows? But, oil used to be just to help protect the lanes, and it not so much for lane patterns, but it did evolve into that. And, once they realized that, hey, if you put oil in the middle of the lane and leave the outside part of the lane dry, the ball's going to hook on friction and not hook on oil. So it's going to help guide it to the pocket. So once they started doing that, that's when scores happen, and USBC or ABC and the proprietors never agreed on the best way to do it. And it is what it is.
You want to keep it competitive to keep people, being members of the USBC and to keep people, sanctioning bowling and bringing the money in. If you get sports shots out there at every center, no one's going to want to bowl anymore.
Well, I'm not sure about that. If you put sports shots out, and that's all that they have out there, maybe people will go practice again instead of being able to average 220 bowling 3 games a week or 230 bowling 3 games a week. So if you bring back the need to learn basics and fundamentals and things like that, and all the other billions of things that you can learn about bowling now, maybe that would help. They would figure out a way to do it where, a 210 average is a good average. Now, would it hurt the people that are averaging 130 or 140? Would it? I don't know. So they average 120 or 130. I mean, is that really going to keep them from bowling?
True. That's a good point.
So I don't have the answer. I'm just giving you some off the top of my head type of things.
I hadn't heard that before. I mean, I've asked the question to many different people, and that's a good question. And maybe it would teach bowlers to be better and learn how to move and adapt and not just rely on just, equipment. Because, I mean, I don't know how much hand tricks are still involved anymore, or taking hand in, or put, what I mean? That used to be a thing. You used to have to, manipulate the ball, in different ways. And now you can just grab a different ball and it give you the look and the shape that you want. So it's definitely a different game now than it used to be. But I like that. That's a great point. Maybe it'll teach people to bowl better, and the average bowler that bowls 130, 150, they don't care anyway. So
I mean, they're not going. It's like me playing golf. I'm not going on tour. I mean, doesn't matter what I shoot. I just try to enjoy the game. So
Charlie says it's bad. Scores are at the highest they've ever been, and bitching is at an all-time high. That's true. Bowlers will always find a way to complain about something.
We are complainers. I will agree with Charlie on that. But,
so true. That's so true. So who are some of the bowlers that you were friends with over the years? You still keep in contact with the old guard?
Some of them, yeah. Mark Williams, he has a center in Beaumont, and I've known Mark for a lot of years, so he's definitely one of them that I keep in contact with. But there's unfortunately, it's almost sad that once you quit bowling on tour, or other guys quit bowling on tour, most of the time you don't keep in contact with them. Mm-hmm. I roomed with Gary Dickinson for a decade probably, and one of the greatest guys that ever bowled is Gary, and it was an honor for him to let me room with him for as long as he did. So he's another close friend. I don't keep in contact with him as much as I should either, but there's, again, I hate to start mentioning names because I don't want to leave anybody out that's really been good and good friends of mine. But those are the two that came off the top of my head.
Well, I appreciate you being here, Pete. I really thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. I thank you for taking time out to come on with me, and thank you for all the. I mean, I don't know if you get it a lot, but thank you for all the years that you're on tour and entertaining. A kid from Connecticut watching on TV, like trying to be like his idols. So I appreciate everything you've done for the sport.
Well, thanks, Rob. And I got to tell you, just you saying I was nice to you, that means a lot to me. At least I did something right. So, So
you did. You left an impression on a young 8 or 9 year old kid. So, and I always remember that.
Well, good, Rob. Thanks for asking me. It's been a true pleasure. No one's asked me for quite a few years to be on their show. So I thank you. It's been great memories, and watching those clips and everything, that was fun.
Well, good, man. I'm glad I could put a smile back on your face and help you relive those memories. And again, you're a testament to just pure love of the sport, whether it be on tour for all those years grinding it out, or 26 years as a director. I thank you for all your years dedicated to the sport that I grew up loving.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Pete. Have a great night, bud.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye. Take care. Bye. Oh man, that was so good. So good. He's such a great guy. I love Pete. Like I said, he left an indelible mark, on a kid. I don't remember how old I was. I was bowling LA Rat my whole life. I want to say I was maybe somewhere between 8 and 11. And it's funny. I told him that Matt Carlson and Pete were the two that I kind of hung around that week and were so nice to me. And he shoots 300 and then bowls against Matt's and loses. And Matt's won the tournament. It's just a weird cosmic coincidence that those were the two guys that I, met as a kid and looked up to. And they they both had interactions in a tournament in 1987. So that's weird. I never even thought about that until he mentioned. I forgot that he lost to Mats in match 2, and Matt Carlson went on to win that tournament and got overshadowed by the 300, which is unfortunate. I'm going to try to get Mats on the show at some point. If anybody has any contact for him, I'd love to get in touch with him. I love a lot of the international players from back then. I was fortunate to have Ann Leto on the show, who I idolized growing up. Jack, thank you. And Chuck, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Sorry about the technical difficulties tonight. First time ever I ever lost a stream in the middle of it. Like, my internet just bonked out for like 30 seconds. It's the weirdest thing. But I'm glad we were able to have Pete come back on to finish watching that 300. What a cool thing, man. We did it with Johnny Petraglia Sr., watching his 300 he threw on ABC TV. And, got his insight early on, one of our early shows. It's on right here on our YouTube channel in the video section if you want to watch that breakdown with JP Jr. and Dr. Ocho. We got the insight, into JP's 300 game, and then being able to do this again with Pete McCordic was so cool. And just get his insight as we're watching it. It's a bucket list thing for me, guys. I'm just a poor old schlub that grew up in Windsor Locks, Connecticut, at Bradley Bowl, and now I'm here in Tennessee, and I get to talk to my idols. Like, it's so cool. Like, I can't explain to you what a treat and what a privilege it is to be able to have my idols on the show, and to have the greats of the sport even in the game today, like the best of the best. So, speaking of which, let's get into the Players' Championship. I'm going to refresh here. We got qualifying round 4 after 21 games. Sean Maldonado still leading. EJ Tackett is second. CJ Petrin is third. Matt Ogle fourth. Matt Ogle came on fire. He was below the cut for a long time. Graham Fa, love Graham. And Deron Booker's been up there pretty much the whole time. He's in 6th. Tim Foy Jr. has been on fire as well. Andrew Anderson's in 7th. Tim Foy Jr. is in 8th. My boy, let's go. Let's go. Where's my thing? Nate Garcia, #LongNate, after 21 games is 9th. That's fantastic. I am so happy for him. He made it through the PTQ. I watched his video on the Nate and Elise YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to them, please do. My boy Nate, right now, was sitting at 9th as of the last update. Simo has been up and down, but he's 16th. Dio Bernard's 13th. Who else we got here? Marshall Kent's been kind of hanging around. He's 19th. Ryan Barnes had a great comeback. He's in 21st right now. Sean Livery Spar was up in the top 10 early. He's down to 25th. We got Chris Prather, Mr. Consistency, in 27th. Bill O'Neill, 28th. Sam Cooley, 29th. Brandon Bonta, 30th. Zach Weidman, 31st. And Belmo, my boy, making a comeback. Belmo is on fire in the offseason, man. If you follow him on Facebook, he is chomping at the bit to get back to being the GOAT. He is at 32 right now at the cutoff. Eric Jones, 33, just below the cut. A lot of big names still below the cut right now that have a chance, that are still there. Scores are very high. Let's see what Belmo's averaging to make the cut. 218. It was higher. 218 to make the cut. Maldi is, holy shit, 233. Scores have been high. Scores have been high all week. Belmo was down for the first couple of rounds, and it's good to see him back up there over the cut. But we got Zach Tackett, we got Ethan Fiore, Eric Jones, Packy, Kevin McCune, Darren Tang. Kyle Troop was up in the top 32 for the first 2 days. He's down to 42nd. I don't know what happened to Kyle. He is averaging 216 right now. I'm not sure what happened there. P-Dom, my boy. Again, I have so many friends. I'm just so blessed to have friends in the sport. P-Dom was up doing well yesterday. Unfortunately, he's down to 44th right now. Tommy Jones is down there. Jason Sterner, AJ Johnson. Oh, man, my boy AJ. Butters. I texted Butters the morning of. I probably jinxed his ass. I shouldn't have texted him. He's down to 58th. Francois Lavaz, 67th. Chris Barnes, poor Chris, he's 70th. And the list goes on and on. So I believe tonight is the last qualifying round before we go to the advancers. So let's fucking go. Sorry for the F-bomb. Let's go for my boy, Nate Garcia. Super happy for him, man. That's awesome. I hope he continues to bowl well. Have you heard we're going back to Florida? No, did not know that. That's awesome. It's about time. Tapper, I really hope that the new CEO of Lucky Strike, Bolero, whatever the fuck you want to call him right now, he's got a great pedigree for what he's done with other sports, especially the UFC or in MMA. I don't think it was UFC. It might not have been, but he's definitely had success in other ventures. I really hope he does plan on putting more tournaments on the schedule, which we need, and hopefully he can get more sponsors in. Chucky says the Villages might be the only one. Still, Florida's such a hotbed of bowling. It would be great for the tour to get back in there. But no, I'm super, super happy for my friends that are in the cut right now. And you can find that all on Bowl TV. Speaking of which, I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. You can win a one-of-one chamois signed by Chuck Ritchie, who's right there in the chat. A Bowl TV chamois, one-of-one. We're going to raffle everything off. All proceeds go to BVL. Go to bvl.org if you want to learn more about that. But I'm gonna put up here. Let me. I posted on my page on Facebook, Robert Francois, and I posted it in our Facebook group. But I'm gonna bring it up just so I can put it here in the chat. You think I'd be more prepared, but I'm not. You know how I roll. I'm completely unprepared. Let me get my PayPal in the chat. Hey, honey. Hey, my daughter's here. What's up, baby? How are you? Good. You want to get your microphone? You want to talk? Yeah, it's right down there.
It's just you, Will.
It's just me. Well, I mean, I'm just talking to, the audience.
Random people.
Random people. I'm talking to random people. Get up on camera. Come here. This is my daughter, Addison. She's 7 years old. She's the love of my life. I just had one of my favorite bowlers of all time on the show. His name was Pete McCordic. So I met him when I was a little kid back in Connecticut when the professional bowlers used to come to my local bowling alley. And he was so nice to me. And I hung around him that week and he was so cool. And I got to tell him all these years, 40 years later, how cool he was to me. And that really made him feel good. So it was fun. I get to talk to I used to watch these guys on TV growing up. And it's so cool. I get to talk to them now. Yeah. Do you want a podcast one day? What would you want to podcast about?
I don't know.
Would it be a Toca Boca podcast?
I am thinking about starting a Toca Boca channel.
Yeah, you want to start a Toca Boca channel?
Yeah, I actually am thinking about that.
Okay. Well, that'd be cool. Hey, Chuck says hi, Addison. Say hey, Chuck.
Hey, Chuck.
Chuck Ritchie. He's the one he sent me. Look at this. That's so cool. This is tape that you put inside your thumb hole in the bowling ball. And he signed it for me for free. Other people have to guess what he bowls, to guess the correct score, and he sends them that.
Hey, Dad.
My boy sent it to me. Oh, Charlie says hi. You want to say hey, Charlie?
Hey, Charlie.
What? What's up?
What's up?
No, you were going to say something.
I said, hey, Charlie.
No, you were going to say something before that.
I was going to say, I finished one of my chapters of my Master Club book.
Oh, you did? Good job. 2-5. Nice. Awesome. She goes to church on Wednesday nights, which is where I should be. But they have a master club, and it's almost like a Girl Scout thing, and then she got a patch for it. Good job, bud. What was it for?
It was Good Savior.
Good Savior?
Uh-huh.
Nice. Also, anything you want to say to anybody?
Also, I'm working on getting another pen right now. I'm on the page.
Oh, you are? Nice.
I got one last week.
I'm proud of you. Good job. Well, good. All right, get out of here. She's going to be a star one day, I promise. She's just like her old man. She likes to be on camera. She likes to play video games, and she's not shy. I mean, she's kind of shy, but when it's just me and her,
I won't be on camera.
You don't want to be on camera? Okay.
I will be on camera.
You will be on camera. Okay. So, we're going to donate this chamois, which Chuck donated to me. We're going to raffle that off for BVL. We're going to start at $20 minimum. But since it's charity, I'm not going to set a limit on it. You can donate whatever you want, but we're going to at least put a $20 minimum on it. I'm going to run it through till March 4th. On March 4th, Wednesday night, we will put all the names that have donated in a randomizer live on the show, and we will pick the winner. And again, all proceeds will go to BVL. Just go to my Facebook page, and I don't have time to put out there right now because I'm lazy.
You're lazy.
I am lazy, but
all he does is play video games with Monkey and lay in bed.
Oh, for crying out loud! You don't have to tell my secrets, bro. Don't tell my secrets.
I'll not tell the whole world.
No, don't tell the world my secrets.
Dad, you know what happened at school?
What happened at school, honey?
Mackenzie spread the news that I have a crush on Jake.
She told you don't do that. Why would
I told her? She's like, I'm gonna tell Coop because Cooper spread it like all around the class.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, I'm going to tell Coop. And I was like, don't you dare tell Coop. She's like, I'm going to tell Hallie. I'm like, no. And then she's like, Hallie, Addison has a crush on Jake. I'm like, don't tell. It's just a secret between you and me.
I can't believe that.
She like told the whole class.
That's crazy.
If you tell Barrett or Coop, they are the class clowns. They will spread it all around school, the high school, to K0, to K12. They will spread it. That's how much they're the class clowns.
That's crazy. Keep talking while I put in my information here.
Okay.
You are adorable. You want to be the new star of the show? Ocho's never here anymore, so you want to be my co-host?
Sure.
Okay, that's fine. There we go. Donate to BVL to win a 1-of-1 Shammy from PBA 50 Star Truck. Richie, that is my Venmo on the screen, and I will put my PayPal here as well. So again, $20 minimum to win this Shammy signed by Chuck Ritchie, a Bowl TV 1-of-1. That's the other side. It's never been used.
Never ever been used.
And my PayPal is...
Hey, by the way.
Yes, honey?
When it's summer, I can be your whatever.
Co-host?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have to go to the summer. Like when I have my book, I'm like, I have to go.
That's true.
Summer, I can do it.
Okay.
It's only dressing up and Jared speaking, so I can go then.
Sure, honey.
I can miss that. I don't really care about that.
That works. My PayPal is right there. PayPal.me /RFrancois, FRANCOS 400. $20 minimum. Donate as much as you want. It's all going to BVL. Everything is going to BVL, which we love. So we'll be running that till the end of the month. And I appreciate all you guys. Okay, you want to take over the rest of the show? I'll leave. You can do the rest of the show. Better get her a dog. We do have a dog. Actually, we have Lily. Lily is our dog.
Lily is actually, Mom will not let her up here. I sneak her up here all the time.
You do, huh? Okay. Chuck says Jake needs to know Daddy has a shotgun. Jake's gonna learn. He's gonna learn. Get her a mask. You want to have a mask like Dr. Ocho? we could do that. We can hide your face. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. So, yeah, I'll remind you guys again next week about the raffle. Again, it's on our Facebook group. If you're not part of our Facebook group, it's Straight Up 5 Podcast on Facebook, or hit me up on my public page.
No Johnny Petraglia Jr.
With no Johnny Petraglia Jr. That's sad, isn't it? We miss JP. I do. I had so much fun with him. But anyway, thanks again to Pete McCordic for coming on tonight. I had a blast with him. Next week, I was supposed to have Danny Wiseman, but he's going on a cruise. So my guest for the week after, March 4th, is going to be here next week. And here we go. Freshly announced. First time ever announced to the world.
Toad Mallow?
Todd McGill. Todd, who taught you how to read? Oh, your mom's screaming for you. Oh, you're in trouble. Gotta go. Bye. Love you. Todd McGill will be here next week. Bonafide National Sales Manager. Such a super, super great guy. Todd McGill Tournaments. He runs some of the best tournaments there are in the world. He's such a great tournament director. and has been with Bolify for so long. He was on Reset and Rise, Reset and Rise to the Unbreakable with Amanda Moore. So I was able to poach another guest. So I'm looking forward to having Todd McGill on there. Bolify boss, man. That's right. And Chuck is going to be on Reset and Rise to the Unbreakable next week. We go live Tuesday nights right here on YouTube. Just search Reset and Rise podcast. It's a great show about redemption and comeback stories. We've had lots of vets on the show. We've had lots of people that have alcohol addiction, drug addictions. It's a great show. I don't know why the hell Chuck's going to be on there, but I mean, you know, Brunsnick was on there too. If that gives you any indication. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Chuck, and I love Brunsnick. Nick Smith is such a great guy. I don't want to get any crap from him. But Tom McGill will be on. Man, this dude is legit, and he does so much for the sport of bowling. He is such a great ambassador, and Bolify is, in my opinion, the best in the business. So looking forward to have Todd on next week. And before we run, let's do I forgot. We got the imbecile of the week. What am I doing? I got all messed up by my kid. Here is this week's imbecile of the week.
It's time for everybody's favorite segment.
If you guys don't know how to use a seatbelt, just ring your call button and Tommy will come back there and hit you on the head with a tack hammer.
You know, Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
Here's the imbecile of the week.
Some people are really stupid.
All right, this week's imbecile of the week, everybody's favorite part of the show, comes from the Ballards. CDB and her husband wanted to know, what are your thoughts on the subject since it's Olympic season? Should bowling be an Olympic sport? What do you think? We've had this discussion on the show all the time. And check out ballardsbowlingacademy.com, by the way. ballardsbowlingacademy.com. We love CDB. She's been in our chat for years now, and I want to get her and her husband on the show at some point. We will make that happen. But they posed a question. Should bowling be an Olympic sport? And I was going through the comments, and they were pretty tame. I mean, they're pretty normal. I did take exception to a lot of people who are like, well, if curling is in there, then anything can be in there. I love curling. In fact, I'm probably going to go watch it right when I get off of here. My daughter likes watching curling as well. And there's just so much strategy to it. It's just, I don't know. For whatever reason, I love it. But I can understand why the normal person wouldn't like it. And then people are like, oh, well, breakdancing is in, which actually I just heard breakdancing might be out. Especially after the floppy fish they had on last time. No offense, but you know. So going through the comments, I found a few interesting ones that I want to go through here. Tim Thorne says 1,000th. I know I have a list, but 1,000th % yes. I'm assuming he meant to say 1,000 with a D % yes, but if he means 1,000th %, then no, that's really not a lot, bro. That's like 1/10. I don't do math, but I mean it's just not good. So I mean he's not in the running for imbecile league, but I just like proofread your shit, dude. Seriously. Bill Perry II says yes, but don't allow PBA members. Come on, dude. Like, why? I do understand initially, like 400 years ago, that the Olympics were all amateurs, but since they've allowed them in baseball and hockey and basketball, you can't just arbitrarily decide that we're not going to allow PBA members. If you're going to do that, then you're not going to allow pros in any of the sports. So, but why? I want to know, Bill, why don't you want PBA members in there? Don't you want to see the best of the best bowling for their country? I know I do. That's what the World Series of Bowling was meant to be by Tom Clark. What does Mike Jones say? What up, Mike? Mike Jones? What up, guys? Absolutely should be, but there are issues with equipment. I get that. I do get that. And there was something somebody had brought up that actually piqued my interest, because people want to talk about oil breakdown, lefties and righties, not as many lefties as righties. Transition is different, might be walled up on one side, but not the other. But think about this, and this is something I never thought of, especially with the Winter Olympics right now. What how do you explain the difference in, say, a downhill course or slalom course? Snow is going to change. They don't repack it after every run. You're going to have different tracks. You're going to have different, divots and bumps or whatever in the snow. The snow gets pushed around, and you just kind of have to go with that. And in some events, they obviously have Zambonis, but the ice isn't going to be the same, especially for like speed skating and stuff like that. But especially for the snow events like cross country and downhill and slalom and ski jump and all that, the snow changes. So how is it any different than oil transition? You just have to learn how to work through it and deal with it, just like they do on tour. So I don't think that's a valid argument. Like, oh, it has to be the same playing field for everybody. We all have to use the same ball with the same specs and the same oil pattern, whatever. Snow breaks down and so does oil. So that's something I hadn't really thought of before. But, that's something to think about. And that's, with all the conversations we've had about it over the years on this show, that was something that I had never thought of. Yeah, snow changes. Why can't the oil? So just throwing that out there. Alan Kemp. Alan, you may be the one. Alan Kemp says it's the USBC that's against bowling. All they care about is the PBA. Really? Really, Alan? It's the USBC that's against bowling. All they care about the PBA. Let's break this down just for shits and gigs, just for a second. It's the USBC that's against bowling. There's a case for that if you want to talk about urethane, but still kind of a stupid argument, because without the league bowlers, you don't have a USBC, you dumbass. You need us to be bowling. So just to say the USBC doesn't care about bowling is a retarded statement in and of itself. But then to say all they care about is the PBA, bro, they're two different entities. I can't speak for Chad Murphy, but I still think he's going to do his thing, even if the PBA folded up today. It's not like the USBC is going to go anywhere. We just won't have a professional league anymore. But that may be one of the dumbest statements I ever heard. Chuck Reese replacement, Reese, I don't know. Says absolutely not. In most tourneys, the lane man determines who will not win, and in many tourneys, who will win. What a dumbass. Seriously, dude, are there certain tournaments where the lane man may be in cahoots with somebody? I don't know. Maybe for a regional tournament or whatever, but I don't know if that happens on tour, if that's even a determining factor. But what a ridiculous statement to make, especially if you're going to make this an Olympic sport where it's going to be governed by an international body. And look, not all international bodies are above board, right? We've had plenty of conspiracies and stuff like that with steroids or whatever. But to say that a layman would take a part in determining who wins an Olympic event, that's just, come on, dude. Be better than that. Hello, you're back. Okay. Tapperson, stay off the paint chips, Al. Mike says, I bet he throws urethane. Chuck Ritchie says, USBC does not care about the PBA, period. Yeah, why would they? Right. And golf courses change with weather and wind. And archery in the Summer Olympics has the same issues. You have to deal with wind, javelin, shot put, all that. I mean, it's anyway. My opinion, the reason why bowling isn't in there, because there's no money behind it, which is the reason why bowling is failing today compared to what it used to be in the 80s and 90s. It's just there's no money in the sport. How much money's in golf? There's a huge reason why golf is now in the Olympics, because it's $1 billion sport. But anyway, we're talking about morons right now. So, final one, Eric Espinoza says,
that's a weird picture.
It's a weird picture, isn't it? It's a lion. Olympic Games have, quote, games, not sports. It's in the name on every logo and medal. Olympic Games. Bowling isn't a game, it's a sport. Yes, if we can have breakdancing, we should have bowling. Can you believe this guy? Okay. Bowling is a sport, and it's a game. It's both. It's a game or a sport. When you talk about bowling, you say, hey, how'd you shoot? Oh, I had a 280 game. Okay. Just by that very definition, you retard. Bowling is a game. How many games did you shoot? We threw 6 games. We're 5 games over. We won 3 games tonight. Where do we find these people? And you know what? I don't even know who to pick between these two. Wait, no, not him. No, was it him?
Yeah.
This guy. Yes, sweetheart.
Next. Wait. Do you know how he was the person who was supposed to be next week going on a cruise? Nana's going on a cruise next week.
Yeah, Nana is going on a cruise. Thanks for reminding that. You know what? I think it's going to be this guy. Olympics have games, not sports. Bro, that's such a straw man argument. Like, bowling isn't a game, it's a sport. It can be both. And the fact that you say Olympic game, like, okay, if it's the Olympic Games, well, then take out baseball, take out soccer, take out hockey, take out basketball, whatever. You know what? This guy wins the imbecile of the week. Eric Espinoza, you are this week's imbecile of the week. Enjoy it as a badge of honor. You join a select company like Dan Young and others. Doc, what was that guy? Doc Sullivan. I haven't heard Doc Sullivan's name in a while. Where's Troy Lint when you need him? You are the imbecile of the week. Congratulations. You're one of the dumbest people on the planet. And this guy's a close second, Alan Kemp. So congratulations, guys. But we appreciate all the imbeciles here.
Yeah.
With that thought, Monopoly would be in the Olympics. That's right, Chuck. Why not? Just put Monopoly in there, Game of Life, Shoots and Ladders, Candyland, Uno. We should have Uno tournaments in the Olympics. Wouldn't that be awesome? Where do you draw the line? Where? That's all I'm saying. Again, thanks to Pete McCordic for coming on tonight. And thanks for all of our lovely chat here and our friends that hang out with us every single Wednesday night. I don't care if there's 11 or 100. We still have a great core. Everybody that watches after the fact on YouTube, our views are still up, even though JP's not here. So that makes me kind of feel good that I'm still putting out a good show. And check out my other shows. We have Reset and Rise to the Unbreakable with Amanda Moore.
And he just started Liberty All Day.
And I just started a new one. Let me put that.
Liberty All Day, yeah.
Let me put that picture.
He did his third episode today.
I did do my 3rd episode today. I'm recording a whole bunch of episodes to put in the can, like to say.
He also has Tuesday Chowdown that he hasn't even posted.
I have not posted a Tuesday Chowdown. You're right.
Because you don't have the money.
Because I don't have the money. Okay.
We have like 30 different videos ready.
How about we just don't tell all of Daddy's secrets? Yes, I'm still out of a job, but I'm hiring. Everybody wants to hire a fat 50-year-old.
He does actually have a job.
What is my job?
You have DoorDash.
Yeah, I might start DoorDashing. I mean, you got to make money, right? Liberty or Death is a conservative Christian podcast about faith, conservatism, and telling the truth. I'm recording episodes now that will be dropping. So if you want to subscribe to Liberty or Death on YouTube, the channel's already up if you want to sub to it. But it is past your bedtime, Addison. So we are going to bed. Next week, Todd McGill. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. We will see you next week for another issue of Straight Up 5 right here on the Rad Rob Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Straight Up 5. You can follow the show on Twitter at StraightUp5Pod. Follow Rad Rob at Rad Rob Gaming. And follow Dr. Ocho at the Dr. Ocho. Got a question? Send your questions to StraightUp5Podcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Straight Up 5. Right here on the Rad Rob Radio Network.